The Toronto real estate market is pretty hot these days, and you probably know that as well because it's all over the news again. The main reason for this is that buyers have been coming back sooner than the sellers, and basically those who were too scared to buy last year are finally taking the plunge, and it helps even more so now that fixed rates have been coming down and the central banks are telling us that they're close to the end of rate hikes. Another buy signal these days is that there's just more proof now that we found good support and there's a clear sign of a bottom now with Toronto real estate. And so that leaves us with listings, which still hasn't been coming up enough for a recovering market, but things could be changing. Now, recently, we've seen more homes hit the market for spring, and what this means is that it can help to balance out the real estate market. So in this video, I'll give you a complete update on what's happening these days and where the Toronto real estate market might be headed in the coming months. But before I do that, check this out. This is a heads up that you can get our complete Toronto real estate investing guide for free on our website. You can see things like a breakdown of typical costs, rents, appreciation, sample financials that you can change up to see how it affects your returns, and even try out a quiz to see what might fit you best. I'll put a link to the free guide in the description below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss other content like this made just for real estate investors in Toronto. In Toronto, we know competition is getting intense, and you can see this by looking at the sales to new listings ratio, which measures how hot a market is. Basically, the higher this number, the hotter the market. And what's happening these days is that we are reaching levels very close to what's seen in early 2022, which was when the market was red hot at the peak. And yes, so offer dates are back and multiple offers are back. But even though the market sure feels similar, things are actually different, and the main thing is that buyers aren't just as aggressive these days. For example, even though there might be double-digit number of offers on offer night, the seller might still end up accepting an offer with conditions or might not even sell at all because the price didn't hit the price they wanted to get. Don't get me wrong, things are definitely still selling and prices are definitely still going up, but it's just that things are moving a lot more carefully these days. Here's the other thing. You might think that January and February price gains were pretty unusual, but they're not actually as special as you might think. Now, almost every year around these months, we see more people wanting to buy homes than those willing to sell. And so if you look at seasonality, prices usually go up faster in January and February, and once more spring listings come onto the markets, sales do pick up, but the market and prices end up balancing out better. And this is exactly what we've been seeing this January and February. And now the spring trend seems to align also with history as well. There are definitely more homes hitting the market now that spring is here, which definitely means there are a lot more sales and activity. But we should also start to see a more balanced market in the Toronto real estate world and prices starting to stabilize again. If we look at where prices are right now in Toronto, we're actually midway between the peak set back in early 2022 and the lows that were hanging around for almost 7 months from July of 2022 to January of 2023. Now, the Bank of Canada signaled a potential pause in rates in January, which boosted buyer confidence, and that definitely helped with the 15% rise in prices in February. And so now we're 17% below the peak and 15% above the bottom, and it's very possible to see prices hang around these levels until early summer. What comes after this is definitely harder to tell. Now, TD is suggesting that real estate sales in Canada have probably reached a trough and will probably pick up from this point on, but they also predict that prices for Canada as a whole might still have more room to drop before picking up again in a few years' time, and it seems like bank consensus feels the same way. But here's the thing you have to understand as well. They're all referring to Canada, and Toronto trends have been and are still likely going to be slightly different. Now take a look at this chart that compares Toronto prices with those for the whole of Canada. Toronto prices have come down much sooner and steeper, but they've also bottomed out much more quickly and have been showing a lot more support at bottom levels for 7 months straight. Canada as a whole saw a much slower reaction time and decline, and the bottom could have been this past January, but right now it's still pretty hard to tell, and I wouldn't be surprised if prices still have more room to drop. Past trends are different, and we see future prospects as being pretty different too. The big thing in Toronto is that we don't have much more land to build on, even if we want to. So even if we do see looser housing policies, it's just a lot harder to create supply to meet the demand compared to other parts of Canada with a lot more land to build on. The other part is that the COVID reversal is still happening, and we expect it to continue as more people want to move out of rural areas back into the city for work or for play. Honestly, if you ask us where prices might go in the short term, we really can't say for sure if they're definitely going to go up or going to go down in the short term. But we do suspect that the big dips are behind us. We've seen very solid support levels for over half a year now, even when the market was very shaky, and fundamentals do look especially good in Toronto because of our housing crisis and the COVID reversal. And although there is still a possibility of a price decline in the short term, all the bank's long-term forecasts indicate an upward trend in prices, so it definitely is safe to say that real estate remains a secure long-term investment. And so, if you're looking to get into real estate investing in Toronto and have more specific questions, we're happy to fill in more details and help you find the best real estate investment opportunities for you. Just reach out to us by heading to the link in the description below. We're a real estate sales brokerage that focuses on investing in houses and multifamily homes in Toronto, and here's how it's like to work with us. First, we'll do a discovery call with you so we get to know each other more and help you get your financing ready, and then we'll teach you how to analyze deals. Once you're set, our sales team will work with you to find the best opportunities on the market and eventually help you buy the best one for you. Houses typically need a bit of renovations, and we'll help you with a detailed scope of work and contractor connections. And then once you're ready to rent out the place, we also have leasing and property management services if you need it. So if you want to learn more about any of this, just head over to our website at the link down below. Again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and look for us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn if you want to hear from us more regularly. You can also head over here to check out our other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.